Today, a single NBA contract can change a player's life and their families forever. We're talking 9 figures, generational money, deals worth more than some entire franchises used to be. But it wasn't always this way. In the early days, NBA stars worked summer jobs just to pay the bills. Million-dollar contracts, fantasy, 300 million, science fiction. Over the decades, salaries exploded, pushed higher by rival leagues, TV money, superstars rewriting the market, and a new era of supermax deals, from $8,000 in the 1940s to $300 million in the 2020s. This is the story of how the NBA went from pocket change to record-breaking paydays. $8,000 to be a star, when NBA riches were pocket change. In the 1940s and 50s, being an NBA player wasn't a golden ticket to wealth. It was closer to a side hustle you happened to be insanely good at. The league was still finding its footing, and the salaries reflected it. In the BAA's very first season, 1946-47, Joe Fulks of the Philadelphia Warriors was the league's top earner at $8,000 a year, the gold standard for basketball pay at the time. Most players made closer to $4,000 or $5,000. A few years later, as the NBA began to form, the sport's first true superstar, George Mikan of the Minneapolis Lakers, pushed the salary bar higher. In the early 1950s, Mikan earned around $20,000 a season, making him the highest-paid player in pro basketball and a national celebrity. Even so, compared to baseball's biggest stars, it was still modest money. Most players couldn't rely on basketball alone to make ends meet. Summers were for finding work, selling insurance, running camps, even punching clocks in factories. You didn't play for luxury, you played for the love of the game. Yet the NBA was slowly building momentum. Attendance was climbing, TV was creeping into living rooms, and the business of basketball was starting to take shape. The stage was set for the first true leap in player pay and the arrival of the first $100,000 king. The first $100,000 king. How one deal shattered the ceiling. By the mid-1960s, the NBA was still in baseball and football's shadow, but the money was starting to shift. Owners were beginning to understand that true superstars didn't just win games. They sold tickets, filled arenas, and made headlines. That's when the Philadelphia 76ers made history, signing Wilt Chamberlain to the first $100,000 per year contract in league history. It was a jaw-dropping figure for the time, and one that no other player had touched. Wilt wasn't just another all-star, he was the game's ultimate draw. The man who scored 100 points in a night, averaged over 50 for a season, and dominated the sport like no one before him. If anyone was going to smash the salary ceiling, it was him. The rest of the league? They were miles behind. Legends like Jerry West and Oscar Robertson were pulling in $50,000 to $60,000 a year. Even perennial all-stars struggled to crack $40,000. 6 figures was rarefied air. Then Bill Russell heard the news. Competitive as ever, he told the Celtics he wanted one thing: $100,001, just to be the highest-paid player in the league. They gave it to him. That tiny $1 gap lit the fuse for a new era. And as the 1970s arrived, the fight for talent and money would explode into million-dollar madness. Million-dollar madness, the ABA-NBA war for players. The 1970s didn't just bring afros, short shorts, and skyhooks. It brought chaos to the business of basketball. And at the center of that chaos was a brash new league, the American Basketball Association. The ABA wasn't just trying to win games, they were trying to win players. Their weapon of choice? Money. Big, headline-grabbing, bank-breaking contracts that made NBA offers look small. Before the ABA, 6-figure salaries were rare. But suddenly, rookies and stars were signing for sums that felt impossible. In 1970, the NBA's Atlanta Hawks made waves by giving Pete Maravich a 5-year, $1.9 million deal. A fortune for a rookie. That same year, over in the ABA, the Indiana Pacers shocked basketball by signing Purdue legend Rick Mount. The headlines called it a $1 million contract, but the reality was more creative. About $400,000 to $750,000 up front, with the rest spread out over decades in an annuity-style plan. Mount was set for life, if he could wait for the checks. The ABA also landed one of the biggest names of the decade, Julius Dr. J. Erving. In 1971, the ABA's Virginia Squires signed him to a 4-year, $500,000 deal straight out of UMass. A contract that not only pulled him away from the NBA draft, but made him one of the highest-paid young players in pro basketball. In 1974, the ABA's Utah Stars convinced Moses Malone, fresh out of high school, to sign a 5-year, $1 million deal. Some later reports inflated it to $3 million, but even at $1 million, it was groundbreaking. No teenager had ever landed that kind of money to play pro ball, and the NBA wasn't about to sit quietly. That same year, the NBA's Portland Trail Blazers handed Bill Walton a 5-year, $2 million rookie deal, the richest in NBA history at the time, to lock down the most celebrated college player in the nation and keep him from bolting to the ABA. The result? Salaries across basketball exploded. By the time the ABA and NBA merged in 1976, owners had shattered every old pay standard. And just a few years later, a rookie named Earvin Magic Johnson would ink a deal so massive, it redefined what an NBA contract could be. Magic's $25 million gamble, the contract no one believed in. By 1979, the ABA-NBA war was over, but the big money mindset was here to stay. Owners now knew if you wanted a generational talent, you had to pay for him. Enter Earvin Magic Johnson. Just 19 years old, fresh off beating Larry Bird in the most-watched NCAA championship game ever, Magic was more than a point guard. He was a walking smile, a 6'9" showman built for Hollywood. The Lakers didn't just draft him, they invested in him. His rookie contract? A 5-year, $2.3 million deal. One of the richest rookie deals in sports history at the time. It was huge, but not the biggest. Just months earlier, Larry Bird had signed a 5-year, $3.25 million contract with the Celtics after leveraging his draft rights into a bidding war. Bird set the record, Magic set the stage, and Lakers owner Jerry Buss was thinking even bigger. In 1981, after just 2 seasons and a championship under Magic's belt, Buss made his move, a 25-year, $25 million extension that wouldn't even start until 1984. That's right, a deal locking Magic in until the year 2009. Critics called it insane. Too long, too risky. What if he got hurt? What if his game faded? Buss didn't care. He wasn't just betting on basketball. He was betting on Magic as a brand, a show, and the face of Showtime Lakers for a generation. And Buss was right. The championships rolled in, the Lakers became must-watch TV, and that 25-year deal became a symbol of the NBA's new era of superstar investment. Next up, another icon would redefine not just the game, but how much a player could be worth off the court. This was the Jordan effect. The Jordan effect. How Air Jordan changed money forever. By the mid-1980s, NBA salaries were climbing, but they were still just one part of a player's income. That's where Michael Jordan changed everything. Drafted in 1984 by the Chicago Bulls, Jordan signed a 7-year, $6.3 million rookie contract, a solid deal for a 3rd overall pick, but not even close to the league's highest. His paycheck didn't scream future billionaire, but Jordan's value wasn't just in points and wins, it was in branding. Before his first NBA game, Nike took a gamble. At the time, they were struggling in the basketball market, trailing behind Converse and Adidas. They offered Jordan a 5-year, $2.5 million shoe deal, plus royalties. The richest rookie endorsement contract in sports history. The catch? Nike's internal goal was to sell $3 million worth of Air Jordans in 4 years. They sold $126 million in the first year. The black and red Air Jordan ones were so bold they broke the NBA's uniform rules, earning Jordan a $5,000 fine every time he wore them. Fines Nike gladly paid because the controversy only fueled sales. Suddenly, a player's shoe could be as big a moneymaker as his contract. Jordan's brand exploded beyond sneakers. His commercials, Gatorade deal, Be Like Mike, McDonald's spots, and global appearances turned him into a cultural icon. By the late 90s, He was earning significantly more from endorsements than from his Bulls salary. And that Bulls salary, in his final 2 seasons in Chicago, Jordan signed back-to-back one-year deals worth $30.1 million and $33.1 million, the largest in NBA history at the time. But even those record contracts were small compared to the financial empire Air Jordan had become. Jordan didn't just raise the bar for player salaries, he rewired the business model of sports. From then on, superstars weren't just athletes, they were brands. And that shift opened the door for the next era. The $100 million club, when stars like Shaq and KG would cash in like never before. The $100 million club, Shaq, KG, and the race to get paid. By the late 1990s, Michael Jordan had proven that a superstar's value went far beyond the box score. Owners had seen the blueprint. A true franchise player didn't just win games. He sold tickets, boosted TV ratings, moved merchandise, and could turn a team into a global brand. That mindset kicked open the door to a new threshold, the 9-figure contract. In 1996, the Los Angeles Lakers made the first splash. Fresh off a dominant run with the Orlando Magic, Shaquille O'Neal hit free agency as the most unstoppable big man in the game. The Lakers offered him a 7-year, $120 million deal, the richest contract in NBA history at the time. It wasn't just about what Shaq could do on the court. It was about building Showtime 2.0, pairing him with a teenage Kobe Bryant, and selling out arenas for years. Then in 1997, the bar got pushed even higher. The Minnesota Timberwolves gave 21-year-old Kevin Garnett a 6-year, $126 million extension, an unheard of amount for someone so young. The deal stunned the league, sparked debates about player salaries, and even influenced the next collective bargaining agreement. Soon, the $100 million club wasn't exclusive. Players like Juwan Howard and Allen Houston joined the list. The message was clear. If you were a franchise cornerstone, 9 figures was the going rate. But the biggest jump was still to come. In the 2010s, the NBA's salary cap would explode, and contracts would climb into the $200 million era. The $200 million era, supermax deals rewrite the rules. The 2010s changed everything. And it wasn't because of one player, but because of a TV deal. In 2016, the NBA's new broadcasting agreement kicked in, pumping billions into the league and sending the salary cap skyrocketing overnight. Teams suddenly had more money than ever, and the league introduced a new tool to keep superstars from leaving, the supermax contract. The supermax let a team offer its own player far more money than anyone else could, up to 35% of the salary cap with built-in raises. The numbers were shocking. In 2017, Steph Curry became the first player to sign a $200+ million contract, a 5-year, $201 million deal with the Golden State Warriors. Just days later, James Harden topped it with a $228 million extension from the Houston Rockets. Soon, the list of 200 million men grew. Russell Westbrook, Damian Lillard, Giannis Antetokounmpo, Luka Dončić, and more. Each new deal seemed to push the ceiling higher, and what had once been unimaginable was quickly becoming the norm for franchise superstars. But as big as the 200s were, the game wasn't done. By the 2000s and 20s, we'd see something even wilder. Contracts breaking the $300 million barrier. The $300 million boom, when contracts hit historic heights. By the 2020s, $200 million no longer shocked anyone. The NBA's revenue machine was running at full speed. Global TV rights, streaming deals, jersey sponsorships, and a fan base bigger than ever. The salary cap kept climbing, and the numbers on superstar contracts followed right behind it. In 2023, Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics set a new benchmark with a 5-year, $304 million supermax extension, the richest deal in league history at the time. But his reign didn't last long. Just a year later, teammate Jayson Tatum topped it with a 5-year, $314 million supermax, taking the crown as the NBA's highest-paid player by total contract value. They weren't alone in the mega deal era. Nikola Jokic, fresh off leading the Denver Nuggets to their first championship, locked in a 5-year, $276 million extension in 2022. Anthony Edwards secured a 5-year, $260 million rookie max extension with the Minnesota Timberwolves. And Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, after an MVP and championship run in Oklahoma City, inked a 4-year, $285 million supermax extension, making him the highest-paid player in the league by annual average. The $300 million boom isn't slowing down. With the NBA's next TV deal set to inject even more money into the system, the first $400 million contract could be right around the corner.